I actually was a competitive swimmer since second grade, and I kind of decided that I wanted to take a break from swimming after high school, so kind of like retired in a sense once I graduated. And when I came to Brown, the women's crew team sent out an email that kind of said like, we're recruiting walk-ons, and I was really intrigued just because like rowing is completely a different sport from swimming, but also really similar in a sense that, you know, like it's really about the mindset and the mentality that pushes the athletes through the practices and the competitions. But it's also different in a way because swimming, it's really just you and the water and the clock, like it's just all by yourself. But then for rowing, it's a team sport, like you're in the boat together, you have to stroke together to go forward, and you even have like a little cheerleader almost in a sense, like with the coxswain like encouraging you. And I was really intrigued by that whole like aspect of the sport. I think I kind of divide my identity into three parts. One part is like my Korean identity, which is like at home I speak Korean with my parents, we celebrate Korean traditions and things like that. But then, you know, like once I step out into the outside of my home, it's very much my like American culture. Like I, you know, like speak English and very like immersed in like the American culture. But then also I think another separate part of it is that I have like a separate Korean American kind of identity. I think that's like a unique identity that brings in both experiences together. And I think a lot of Asian Americans like myself would kind of understand that it's not just one or the other, it's really more of a mix of both. And that definitely has kind of shaped me into become the person that I am right now. I think it's like really important that we recognize the AAPI Heritage Month, especially with the recent increase in the terrible anti-Asian hate crimes that have been happening. Like I feel like every time I turn the news on, there's just another tragic attack. And I know a lot of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are kind of scared and fearful of, you know, like who they are. And I know my parents have been kind of feeling a little scared to just like go out and to like big like public spaces, I guess, like with a lot of people. And I don't know, that kind of like really makes me sad because like there's nothing that we can do about like we are who we are, and I don't think that it's fair for people to attack others just because of their like the way they look or like their race. And I hope that this month will really highlight and recognize the history of Asian Americans, and we'd be able to celebrate our heritage instead of being like scared. I think one of my favorite traditions would be, so on New Year's Day, there's a special soup that we eat, and it's a rice cake soup. So there's little slices of rice cake in the soup. And the tradition is that if you eat the whole bowl of soup, then you gain another year. So like you get older one more year. And so I remember when I was a kid, I would be like, oh, then if I eat like 5 bowls of soup, then can I get like 5 years older? And the parents, you know, they'd just be like, yeah, that's how it works. So I just always remember having like very good memories of waking up on New Year's Day. My mom would be making the soup and we'd have it for lunch every year. And now I know, you know, that it's not those actual soup, but it's just but yeah, it's just like, it's fun just knowing that, like, I don't know, like those are just kind of the fun little memories that I have with my parents and my family. And even though like we are far away from Korea, like my grandparents and I, you know, like we bond over like, oh, what did you have for New Year's Day today or this year? And